So football is finally back. We can start talking about the Forest matches. And this is a huge one. It is the quarter-finals. Forest will travel away to Porto in the first leg. And we got some injuries. Welcome to your match preview. Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome back as we can just fully focus on football again. Hope you enjoyed the Easter break, the stupid international window and all that. But we're back, so make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed, make sure you check out OK Jerseys using code FFTV for a further 8% off, where you can get your shirts for 15 quid. So go check them out, links in the description. And yeah, I'm in a good mood because I'm excited, man. It's like 30 years since we've been in this position. I think this is an important match. I don't buy into this whole notion of, oh, let's focus on the league and don't worry about Europa. No, focus on both. We are 3 game matches, if you like, away from being in the Champions League. Let that sink in. Win the quarterfinals, win the semis, and then win the final. And we're back where we belong to go get our 3-star, which you can't see under that. So coming up today, I'm going to talk you through a bit about Porto, a bit about some of the injuries that I'm hearing about for Forest, and how I think Pereira is going to set us up. So let's kick it off with Porto. Just a quick overview now. We should all be familiar with them. We played them, I think it was Sean Dyche's first match, if I remember rightly. We beat them 2-0 at home. But away from home, as in at their place, it's a whole different kettle of fish. They're in a rich vein of form. They hardly lose, they hardly concede, and they score a lot of goals. The style they play at home is, I'd call it like a bait and switch tactic, where what they're trying to do is they're trying to create space in behind the opposition. So what you'll find is their defenders will chill on the ball, trying to sucker in maybe a Gibbs White to come and press them, a Jesus to press them, whoever it might be up front for us to create the space so then they can attack in. Obviously, they got Samu, who's a goal-scoring machine, but I believe he's out with a cruciate, so he's out for the season. So that's, you know, you don't want to say it, but that's kind of good news for us, right? And then, of course, at the back, they got Thiago, the ex-Chelsea player. I think he's like 41. He's getting close to Ant's age now. He is still an absolute rock for them at the back. Mora, their wonder kid, a very, very good player, but he could be a doubt with an injury as well. So there's a lot of good things going Forest's way, so to speak. But make no mistakes about it, this will be a very, very tough match. Now, into the Forest team. So we're hearing about a couple of knocks. We know Elliot Anderson won't be playing because he's suspended for this game. But we're also hearing there's a potential knock for Amari Hutchinson and for Ola Aina. They got little knocks. There's nothing serious from what I'm hearing. They could be back in time for this one. Obviously, Jair Cunha's got his foot injury. He should be probably back in the next week or two. And then outside of that is just the long-term injuries of Savona, Willy Bolly's out, and of course, Jean-Victor. Now, the big question is, what do you do up front? Because Cristiano Ronaldo is back. He was at the open day training session last Saturday, looking sharp, looking fit, looking ready to go. Do you start him for this match or not? Let me know what you would do with the strikers. Would you go Jesus? Would you go Cristiano Ronaldo? Would any of you go Luka up front? Let me know. I'll tell you what I think when we get to the team sheet. But I still think the importance of this game is quite simple. The rules of European football just haven't changed since like it was invented, these 2-legged knockout matches. Draw away from home and win your game at home. It's as simple as that. Forest are classed as the seeded team in this match, even though Porto finished higher than us in the league table. Because we knocked out Midtjylland in the previous round, that we basically have taken over their seeding, if that makes sense. So technically speaking, Forest are seeded 3rd in the Europa League. And it won't be until the semi-finals if we were to hit Villa. Villa would outrank us on the seedings. But if it was Bologna, I think they finished 4th off the top of my head. So again, we would get the priority, right? So I'm excited. Let's jump into the team sheet and let's get discussing what can, should, and would happen. Now, I started to play around with the team. Now, what we know for sure is that Anderson can't play. So we got to decide what happens in that situation. Does Pereira switch it up? Does he go for a midfield 3? Does he go for a 3-back? What's he going to want to do on this one? I think with Jair Cunha being out, I would rather he didn't, because his default and every manager's default at Forest seems to be going to Morato as that third person. So I'd stick with the back 4 in this instance. If Einar does have a knock, and like I said, it's nothing serious, so I wouldn't over worry about it. Excuse me. Cough, cough, cough. What I probably would do is put Nico Williams on the right-hand side. And I can't remember what the situation is with Nets, whether or not he's registered. But then maybe bring Nets in if he is registered. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I got a feeling he might not be. But if that's the case, Einar goes out because of the injury. Williams comes across for Nets. But if Einar is past fit and can play, then Nico Williams can stick on that left-hand side. And then you can bring Ola Einar in the right. And that's the usual back 4, right? That's the one we've grown very accustomed to. You got Sells in goal. Could be Ortega. But after that, wanted to say from Sells against Spurs. I love him. I love him again. Sangare, I think, will start in the midfield. And I think alongside him will probably be a Dominguez. Now, I don't mind Ryan Yates coming in this one. I thought he was brilliant against Midtjylland. But I like Dominguez. And Dominguez can be that workhorse that would actually kind of work really well with a Sangare next to him. Gibbs White will play in the 10. Now, if Amari Hutchinson is struggling with an injury, I would bring on McAtee on the right-hand side. And then I wouldn't play Hudson-Odoi, but Hudson-Odoi will play. I'd just go a little crazy and bring Backward in, man, to see what he's got. Could be a good kind of setting for him to start with. So I'd go with something like that. If Hutchinson is available, then yeah, you bring him in on the right-hand side. But let's be real. What I think Pereira, this would be my team, but what I think Pereira will go with is Hutchinson on the left-hand side. And probably, I think, Ndoi. I think he's kind of starting to like a bit of Ndoi. I kind of think that's what he will go with. Now, up front, I wouldn't start Chris Wood for this one. For me, Jesus has shone in the Europa League. He scored plenty of goals. I think he scored against Porto, didn't he? Was it a penalty or something? I can't remember. But I would start Jesus and give him 60 to 65 minutes. Then I would bring Cristiano Ronaldo on with 25 minutes to go, depending obviously on the scenario of the game. If it's still like 0-0, if it's, we're 1-0 up or if whatever, you bring him on, get him 25 minutes with the thought of Aston Villa at the weekend, where you do want to see more of Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's the team I go with. Do you agree with it or not? Let me know in the comments. Now, in terms of how do I see the game going, I think we can win this. Porto have been very, very good in the league, as I mentioned, right? But that doesn't necessitate that means they're brilliant, because with all due respect to the Portuguese league, it's not as strong as the Premier League. They're sitting top. I think they're 5 points clear of Sporting. They've drawn their last game, won the 2 before. They've lost 1 game all season in the league. However, when we faced them under Sean Dyche, they were undefeated, okay? And we gave them their first defeat of the season. Now, it is going to be a very, very strong atmosphere at their stadium. Expect it to be raucous, expect it to be loud, expect it to be everything else. Can our players cope with that? I think they can. And I'm more than happy to walk away from there with a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw. Remember, away goals don't count anymore in European competitions, so it doesn't really matter. Bring them back to the City ground, and then we go and finish the job. Don't get me wrong, I'd love a 3-0 Forest away win. Can I see it happening? Maybe. Without Samu, they may struggle. And if, of course, Costa is out as well, that's more good news for Forest. I'm feeling confident, but remember, it's a 2-legged match. Man, it's exciting. So, get your predictions in. Let me know how you're feeling about the game. Are you excited about it, or are you one of these, like, screw the Europa League, let's just stay up? Make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed, make sure to check out OK Jerseys. The link's in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Reds.